There are many research studies on what drives employee engagement. Interestingly enough, compensation is not usually at the top of the list. But as an employee yourself, you know that people do care about how much they are paid. You could go online and see what the average American worker in your industry is paid, but that won't drive performance and it's not strategic. So let's look at some other options for setting up employee compensation. One option is called pay for performance. This means that employees and managers are paid for accomplishing a goal. Some examples are maintaining a quality score of 95% on customer service calls or completing some big project. Another example might be offering raises in conjunction with your annual performance evaluations, where people who receive all fives on their rating scale receive a 3% raise, and anyone who doesn't gets a standard 2% raise. The idea is that employees are promised more pay for better performance. This option only works if the processes and environment make achieving the goals feasible. Let's say you work for a software company and your marketing employees receive a standard hourly rate. You promise them additional performance pay if they increase downloads of the trial software by 10%. It turns out the developers are having some issues on their end and the trial software downloads aren't working properly. Of course, this affects the pay for your marketing department, and because achieving the goal is out of their control, they'd become angry and less engaged. So the bottom line with pay for performance is that achieving the goal must be totally possible. The goal must be clear, tangible, and measurable, and there must be a clear connection between the goal and being rewarded for it. Another strategic move is paying for staying. These days, people are leaving their jobs every 3 to 5 years. But if you want to hang on to employees for 10, 15, or even 25 years, consider making that part of your pay structure. You might offer a one-time bonus at certain yearly marks or a higher annual percent increase when employees reach certain anniversaries. One thing to keep in mind is that your longtime employees were hired in at some rate that made sense at the time of hire. As cost of living goes up, you might be advertising lower-level jobs at a higher rate of pay than you were 10 years ago. So just be sure those longtime employees also receive adjustments in their pay as you adjust the rate for new hires in order to attract good talent. Another way to be strategic in your compensation is to start by asking your employees what they want and need. I'm not saying ask them how much they want to be paid. They'll all mark down $1 million. What I'm saying is ask them what incentives they value and then design your compensation plan around that. Do they want some money for daycare, or would they rather get a few more vacation days each year? Do they want a 401k or a health club membership? These days, the way we work is so different than it was even 10 years ago. So use that to your advantage and be creative. For example, working from home is easier than ever. It's a small benefit, but it has a lot of value, especially for commuters. Other fun ideas can include allowing employees to decorate their office any way they want, or even gift cards for the hot new restaurant down the street from your office. There are a million things you can offer in addition to pay to keep employees excited and engaged. Asking them what they care about will ensure you can deliver something that actually works. Before you get started on designing your strategic compensation plan, be sure to spend some time working with leaders to understand what your compensation policy is. You want to discuss budget and how pay is a part of the organization's strategy. For example, do you want to be competitive in the job market? Also discuss how pay will be used to motivate performance and whether you want to hang on to longtime employees or if you want fresh eyes. As you develop your plan, be sure pay is fair and equitable and that it will be perceived by employees that way. Also ensure your pay structure is compliant with federal and state laws and that it can be explained with simplicity. If it gets too complicated, you'll turn employees and potential new recruits off. Creating compensation, benefits, and incentives can be a lot of fun if you start thinking outside of the box. So go and get creative.